Hello and welcome to ScholarRed. Okay, so this video is a little different from the ones that we usually post. So now let us get started with this video. Okay, so the DC universe. So the DC universe, as you must all know, is basically it's a comic book that was written by someone called Stan Lee and 80 to 90 years ago. So the DC Comics Inc. is an American comic book publisher. It is a publishing unit of DC Entertainment, which is a subsidiary of the Warner Bros. DC Comics and is one of the largest and oldest American comic book companies. So the initials DC stands for Detective Comics. Okay, so before we start off with the main video, let us just get an important and very interesting fact. So basically, the DC was written by Stan Lee, and Stan Lee was also the co-publisher, or he was the co-writer of many characters of Marvel Comics. So basically, he was the man who wrote DC, and then he got inspired a little, and he gave rise to many Marvel characters. So I guess this is really interesting for many of you guys. Okay, so now let us start with the main video. So this video is about the top 10 DC villains of all times. Though Marvel's cinematic universe may be far more recognizable these days, when it comes to memorable villains, no one does it like DC. DC has been around for more than 80 years, and in those countless villains have clashed with Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, and so on. These villains are the worst of the worst, and we can't help but love them for it. They are just so badass, guys. Okay, so please write down in the comment section about your most favorite villain of all times. It may be from DC or from Marvel. Okay, so the first in the lot is Black Adam and Brainiac. So I think all of you have watched the trailer of or have got the information that Black Adam is a movie or it's a character and a movie is gonna released very soon on it. And Brainiac on the other hand is also a very interesting character, and if you go and research about it, you can know about its superhuman mental abilities. So both of them are arch nemesis of the Superman. Okay, next we come to Sinestro and Scarecrow. Now, Sinestro, if you have watched the Green Lantern, he was one of those Green Lanterns. But after he gets access to the to the yellow ring, which basically harnesses fear, he wears it. Okay, and then he becomes a very badass villain. And Sinestro is fought by none other than our Hal Jordan. Now, Hal Jordan was played by Ryan Reynolds. I think all of you do remember that. And there's also a very interesting fact, guys. I just want to speak about it. Parallax is basically, you guys must have heard about Parallax if you guys do follow comics, or a movie is going to be released very soon which is about Green Lantern, and you will hear about Parallax. Parallax is basically, he was like a parasite. He got into Hal Jordan's body, and that's very late. He got into Hal Jordan's body and he captured his body. So after a point of time, even Hal Jordan or the Green Lantern, he also gets, he becomes a villain because of this Parallax. Okay, now Scarecrow was an arch nemesis of the Batman, and he was played by none other than Cillian Murphy. Scarecrow is one of the scariest characters or villains of DC. Okay, so we now come to Deathstroke and Joker. So guys, Joker is a very very interesting character. I think this is the only character in both of the comics or any comic ever written which has so many shades to it. I mean, Joker is not just based on one character. He has so many personalities, and please do check out the comic books, or you can just go and Google up. He basically appears in a very different shape and very different look in each and every one of those comics. In one of them, he just had a cut off face, which was basically his jaw was cut. And there was this other comic book in which he looks like this, the one that is given in the the PPT. And the Deathstroke, I think all of you have heard about him. If not read about him, you have seen the movie The Suicide Squad. So Deathstroke is also very badass, and he was therefore in this movie. Okay, now we will come to the two most powerful villains of all times, guys. Darkseid and Steppenwolf. So I think most of us have watched Justice League. So I think you have a high idea of Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf was really powerful. Okay, and the way it is shown in the movie, the way he died, he did not die in the same way in the comic. If you really want to know, then search up and just you can read about the way he died in comics. And Darkseid was a very badass villain, and he was really powerful. So now on the second and the first position, we have Doomsday and Lex Luthor. Doomsday was a very powerful beast who actually killed Superman. You have seen Batman versus Superman, and Superman was killed by Doomsday, and he was really powerful. And Lex Luthor, on the other side, he was a genius intellect. He had superhuman strength, speed, and durability, and he also had energy projection, force fields. The thing that worked for him was he was a very good scientist. People used to rather call him a mad scientist, and his creation, which was Doomsday, ended up killing one of our most favorite superheroes, that is Superman. Okay, so we have finally come to the end of this video, and thank you for watching our video. And if you please like this and want us to make more videos on comics or Marvel or DC or anything of any kind, please do write it in this comment section, guys. We need your suggestions. And if you do like it, please hit on the bell icon and write down something in the comment section if you did like the video. So thank you and have a good day.